Okay, hi, hello everyone. This is your host Busola, and welcome to Àṣà Wa. Thank you so much for joining again today. I mean, it's been an awesome time. Every single time that we meet, discussing matters regarding cultural language. And like I said, I'm your host Busola, and this is Àṣà Wa that's powered by Tayari.live. If you're joining the stream for the first time, I want to encourage you to, subscribe, for more content like this. I mentioned when we started the stream last week that we're still going to be here for a very long time. So I'd like you to also participate. If you have any, what's it called, contributions while we're discussing, please feel free to let us know in the comment section. It would be great to have to gain perspective from your own view of things as well too. So thank you so much for joining. All right, so like I promised us on Monday, I said we're gonna have a guest today, and it's my delight to um, make it known to everyone that today our guest is around, our guest is available. um like I mentioned the last time, of course, that he had to attend to something very imperative. It's the reason he was not able to join us in the last session. And joining me today to on this subject matter that we're going to be discussing today, which is um his view, or a parent's view on language in modern times, would be Mervyn Omari. Please welcome Maven. Uh, Thank you so much, Maven, for joining. You're taking time to
Yeah,
be here with
happy
us
to
on
be
Asha.
here.
Taking for granted. Thank you so much. All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's just get right to it. All right, so that we don't keep our viewers. So let's start this way. I mean, I would want you to just give us a bit of a background, about yourself, where you grew up, and all that, basically. So yeah, let's have you.
Hello, everyone. My name is, as you've heard, Mervyn Omari, but people call me Marvel. Yeah, that's the name that is easy on the tongue. So Marvel is my name. My kids like counting my age. I don't, but they tell me I'm 43. I think that's the last I checked, I was 25. So yeah, let's put it in the middle. Maybe I'm like 40, but no,
As it
43.
should be.
Yeah, so I've grown up in Kenya, Nairobi specifically, and the environs around Nairobi. So that means we call ourselves born town. That means we are born in town,
Oh,
not in the rural areas. So
oh,
that
nice.
that
Nice.
that
Town.
yeah, born
Nice.
town means that you're born in town. So
Oh,
yes, I
nice.
have been all these years I've been born in town and raised in town. So
Mm,
that even will has affected my growth and my and influenced the way I speak and how what I speak. Yes,
mm,
yes. And even the schools we went to were basically like the first one I went to was all English, no native language being taught actively, while
mm.
the second one going forward was had the native language, which is the national language, which is Swahili. So that
Mm-hmm.
also makes me speak a different language also at that.
Oh,
And you have to understand in Kenya there are like 42 tribes. So
ooh.
there are many there are many languages that can be spoken, and what would be the uniting factor between us
Mm.
all is Swahili. So you'd
Oh,
find that is why Swahili in our nation is the joiner, is like the thread between many parts of the quilt. So
mm.
that's what brings us together in the end. If you know Swahili now in Kenya, you can operate in most places. The fewer and fewer people are only knowing their native language. Like, let's say, if you go to where I am from originally, or where people
Mhm.
that look like me come from, it is it's a place called Kisii. Now there you'll find people speak Gusi. So
Mm.
the older generation, like the grandmothers, are the ones you'd find who don't know Swahili, but the ones coming thereafter would know Swahili, and then the ones coming in now know English and Swahili. So,
Oh,
and you'll also know the native language, because if they're in the rural area, they have to converse with what is widely accepted and considered the
mm.
norm, which is the native language. But in Nairobi, Swahili, you get around, and even if you're younger, there's a new version called Sheng, which is a
Oh,
mix of Swahili and English. So
oh, that's why it's called Shen, like Swahili and English.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a mix
Oh,
of it. Now that's for the real born towns, because now that
mm,
makes them even some of the Sheng you even I don't know, and because I don't speak it as much or in depth. So you see now
mm.
in Kenya there's now another language coming out to the younger people. So
Okay,
you'd find
just to cut you in a bit, because I would really want to. I know you said you don't really know how to speak, but I just want to get a glimpse of what Shen. What does it really sound like? Let's say if you want to, I mean, compose a statement like, "I'll meet you there at 5 p.m." For an example, how would you say that in Shen?
now you see nitamok badai. That means I will come. Come. What happens is that they switch words around. Like come becomes mok, or
Oh,
like if you want to say bread, you'll say dibre, because you read it the other
mm.
way around. You see, it ends with a D and starts with a B, so
Mm.
we read it the other way around. So dibre would be.
Ah,
So
interesting.
they have a. It's even getting harder now, because there are some songs they sing that I understand nothing, because
Oh wow.
it's bred based on the locality. Like now you'll find the Sheng in Nairobi is very
Mhm.
different from the one in Mombasa, because Mombasa now you'd find they add more in-depth Swahili words with English. So
Ah,
bef- it's very locally grown, or morphs based on where the person is. So you'd
mm.
find like mine would be more English to Sheng, because I speak, we mostly find we'll have people who speak English more. So they'll have more an English tied to a Kiswahili word.
Oh wow.
Yes. So
Such an interesting environment.
yeah, it changes every day, because like now my kids, I'm sure will find out their own version and work within their space. So so they'll be like version 6 10.0 by the time they're 40.
Interesting. So talking about versioning language, I think that's even a good place to jump into the conversation, right? So talking about versioning language, at what point would you say, I mean, you started getting a, I mean, I mean, I'm trying to get you to remember as far back now. As at what point did you think you began to get a hold of, general one, not the other variants based on what you have said. But at what point did you think you started getting a hold of it? And then what are the factors that contributed to helping you learning it as quick as you did?
Okay, I would get now from the international school, we had to move to a normal Kenyan school, where in
Mhm.
Kiswahili was part and parcel of the of school. I had
Okay.
very little knowledge on Swahili. It was a painful time, because the teacher would pick on me always and know that I know nothing. But but God and His grace, that I actually picked it up pretty quickly, especially the
Oh,
spoken. Written,
oh,
not so
nice.
much. Written was
Mm,
painful. Speaking was easy, and that's the
mm,
thing about language that I realized. For me, I'd prefer to speak it than to write it.
mm,
100%. I'd rather speak it than write it. Then what contributed is that the whole class is people are talking Swahili, so you'd tend to pick up on things not as well as others would believe, or you'll make mistakes and get laughed at. But that is the trend to try to fit in, because everyone else is speaking Swahili most of the time, and
yeah,
you're the English chap speaking
English.
American English and talking through your nose. Yeah, it was kind of crazy, because they'd make fun of me, but yeah, it
Mm,
was they tried to bully you, but as always the bigger bear in the class, so you couldn't
uh,
bully me much. So they would laugh, but not to the point of hurting me, but it made me learn how to fit in. It made me learn that there are places where I speak, and people don't know that I know Swahili at all. At all.
Oh.
Like in my high school, there was one instance. I used to be a first aider. So in that class, there are a lot of people who speak Kiswahili and Sheng. So I morphed and mostly spoke Kiswahili and Sheng while there. So when we're walking
Oh.
home, one of my friends is like, I don't like guys who only speak English. Then my friend who knows that I speak English most of the time looks at him perplexed. He's like, wait, you think this guy knows only Swahili? Like, dude, dude, man. Then later on, he's like, that guy doesn't know you. Then he doesn't know you at
Uh,
all because you learn how to morph based
mm,
on the scenario. Like there are places that, strangely enough, sometimes it's kind of crazy when you morph. You can be going to the shop and asking for bread, but because I
mm,
keep morphing in and out of stuff, I forget what bread is. I'm like, it's supposed to be mkate, but my mind is telling me it's bread. And it's refusing to give me the translation. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Yeah, that happened once. I was just there staring at the guy. I'm like, what? I know this word. you know?
and
And
the
I'm
word
trying
is
to
betraying the moment.
and I'm trying to fit in. Oh no. If I say bread, he'll just look at me like, what?
Hmm.
You're in a
Hmm.
space where everyone is in Kiswahili and you're like, give me
Bread.
some bread. And then the guy's like, what? I'm just saying nipatie mkate. That's how you say it in Kiswahili, nipatie mkate. So you're like,
Uh,
what? I stood there trying. My mind is like, you're on your own, bro. So so that's how I grew up. Yes,
uh,
my parents spoke Swahili and they spoke their
yeah.
native tongues also. Like I can hear my dad's native tongue. I can if someone of the family were to talk to me, I can understand what they're saying for some
Mm.
strange reason, but I can't speak it anyways. My mom's,
Mm.
I can't hear anything. It's just like a song being sung in an and I'm
Was
like,
it ever
what?
spoken? I mean, while you grew up at home, like, was it something that, I mean, mom and dad use like often to
Yeah, they used
communicate?
to they used to do it when they have secrets to trade in the midst of us.
Oh.
Maybe that's why they didn't teach us because they had many secrets to trade. They used to
Uh,
we, in the middle of a conversation they just go. Then you're like, you guys are talking about me. I can smell your deviousness, man. But you're like guys, come on, we are all here, bro. Don't do me like that, man. But yeah, they used to, and even my mom talks. My mom is not from the same tribe as my dad, but she
okay.
learned she learned how to speak my dad's language,
Oh
and
wow.
and so she used to speak that, and but she speaks to her sisters in and her brothers in her own language. And strange enough, even in their family, they seem to be multilingual because they all speak different types. Like my brother now speaks a bit. He can speak a bit of Kikuyu, which is now a totally different language from ours.
Wow.
My other brother was learning Taita at a point. It depends on where we are and who you hang out with, and then you can learn another person's language.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, that's nice. Wow. Okay, so if you have 42 tribes, that means there are most likely 42 variants, like 42 different languages to learn. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. If you really want to go into it, yeah, you have 42. I know there's some small tribes here and there that might not have been counted or not considered worthy of the 40 of being in the 42. Like you'll see, like
Oh,
in northern Kenya, there are small clusters of groups that speak something totally different from the rest of them.
oh
So
wow.
that's the variety of language within Kenya. It's
Mm,
crazy that to think of if imagine you had to speak 42 languages in order to get by, because like now where I live is cosmopolitan. There are like 14 houses, everyone is different from the other, so what will happen?
mm, mm.
So that's why Swahili for us becomes a uniting factor,
The unifying
because
language.
it breaks it's like the Tower of Babel, eh? You know
Mm, yeah,
that all one language is what brings us together and makes us move forward. Because like now I can
yeah.
go to the shop, I'm talking to a Kamba, but I'm talking in Swahili, and they talk back to me in Swahili, and we move on and we understand each other. So
Mm,
that's why and you see like how we are talking, you're from Nigeria and we're talking English and we are bridging the gap. I
yeah.
think that's why the variety of language needs to be, we need to have one that brings us all together and doesn't
Yeah.
eliminate the other. Because like now, my Swahili is not eliminated by the fact that I'm talking English now.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
can speak to you. Then I can just switch in one moment and talk to my neighbor in
Mm,
English or Swahili because they know either or. So and then go to the market and speak Swahili and get what I need. So
mm,
it's for us, Swahili is the thread that weaves us together, because
mm.
42 languages would have been nuts.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot. 42 of anything is a lot, in all honesty.
But
It's a lot.
42 million is a good amount. I like the 42 million sort of thing.
Okay. All right. So taking to my next question. So you said something very imperative where you were speaking about, how I mean you're being multilingual for some reason did not kick off the other language. Like, I mean your ability to speak English did not kick off Swahili and all that because primarily one of the major challenges that Tayari.live is solving is that challenge where I mean um, having to maybe knowing that unifying language. Let me use that vocabulary. Knowing that unifying language sort of just eventually kicks out, you know, the native language. So maybe I should put this to you directly, and I want you to answer this question in two ways: one for yourself and for you as a parent right now. So how are you able to ensure that balance? I know this may not be you may not have a textbook answer to this, but I know that I mean as we speak, you may probably able to give us something good. So how are you able to ensure that balance that your ability to speak English, let me use your words, like I mean speaking through your nose, did not kick away the Swahili. And then how are you ensuring this as a parent right now, knowing of course that I mean you don't want your excuse me, you don't want your kids to be in that scenario where it's just one language and one language alone that they know. So how are you able to bridge that gap? Basically? So speaking for yourself and of course for the kids now.
For myself now, it's pretty easy because I tend to be someone who likes to include people. So you'd meet with the guard, the security guard who knows Swahili more, and you'll speak to him Swahili and relate. I'm a person
Mm,
who interacts with a lot of people. So like now,
yeah.
if I'm having a client from America, I am good to go.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good to go. So in my job, it's pretty easy. It's easy for me because I use it to bring others into my space and understand them, and
Mm,
understand like what my friends say, understand their stories. It's easier when you speak their language, or when you don't, because sometimes you'll find that when you speak English to someone who only knows Swahili, it's like you're looking
mm,
down on them, and it's not a nice place to be. So I like including people based on what they prefer. If you prefer speaking to me Swahili, I'll speak Swahili.
oh,
It might not be here we have, in Swahili, we have the conch Swahili, the native,
wow.
the Arabic sounding. It's got things that are just amazing. But I can't speak that, so I speak a more basic one, but I still get my point across. And for my children, it's always hard because I understand where my parents came from.
Mm,
Teaching only English first because of trying to get us up the ladder faster, because
mm,
like I had 3 years, then I'm going to school, or 4 years, and I needed to know because I was going to go in a school full of whites. So if I go there with my Kiswahili or native tongue, I'm in trouble, and
oh.
I'm in trouble.
This was in Kenya as well, right? Or I mean outside
Yes,
of
yes, yes. It's in Kenya.
oh,
We have the international schools where I was. It was a given that you're going to the international school. So
uh,
it was for them to just say, "Yo, this chap is going to the international school, so you have no choice but to get there faster." So that the time you're speaking to an American teacher, because you used to have American teachers,
oh I see.
you will be struggling. Like there's some kids who came in between, who knew more Kiswahili than English. They struggled in
Mm,
language. because they can't even understand simple instructions because
Mm.
they don't know that type of English, or they're not used to speaking, because there are types of English also. There's the complex there's a complex English, and then there's a basic, and then it's based on the
Yeah,
locality again,
yeah.
because you'll have Americans who
Hmm.
say water and you'll say water,
Yeah.
and
What?
another guy
Yeah.
will say water, water, water.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
see, oh,
And what?
water, I want water.
Right.
Then there's avocado and avocado. Like what?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The schedule and the schedule.
Yeah, some guy saying you don't know English, and you're like, ah, bro, you know nothing. So
You
you
know.
see, so you see, even for our kids right now, what English would get them there faster, but now Swahili will get them more inclusion. You know, they
Inclusion.
understand things. Yeah, because Swahili is about inclusion, I would say.
Mm.
100% to learn it. And right now you're finding like even like a few days ago, I mentioned something to my son about a place where we were going, and he
Okay.
relayed the information in a Swahili, in the Swahili way. Because
Mm.
if I say Kawangware, sometimes he used to say some strange thing. You're like, wait, did I just say that? I didn't mention that. You're like, bro, no. You're like, not in English. Don't say Kawangware. No. So you'd find that he actually said it and said it well. And then I was like, what?
Hmm.
He's actually learning, because sometimes what happens, I just speak Kiswahili without even knowing to them. You have an
Oh,
instruction that needs to be got in your mother tongue. Sometimes the instruction does not sound well in English. Like, what?
I know those moments, right?
Yeah, sometimes some things just have to be said. It makes sense. Just say it. No, you guys, this is, and then you just blurt it out in Swahili so guys can understand. And then, oh, of course, they hang out a lot with me. Like we drive a lot, so you'd find that we'd interact with the police in Swahili. We'd interact. They go to
Mm.
the shop. Interact
Nice.
in Swahili. So trying to bring that soft. It's like a soft sell for Swahili, you know,
Mm.
because you're not ramming it down their throats. And of course, them, they don't do Swahili as a language where they have to write compositions, which we call inshas, that were the pain in my side. Oh my gosh. Oh, those things.
You call them inshas, right?
Yeah, insha is now a composition in Swahili. Oh
Oh,
my
okay.
gosh. Oh, but my saving grace was the set books, where you read a book about on a Swahili topic, or let's say
Okay.
it's like ours is called Shamba la Wanyama. That means animal farm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you read it in Swahili and then deliver it in Swahili as well. But the but was that you don't have to have proper grammar in order to get the mark.
Oh.
So that's used.
Oh.
So guess who was saved by not having proper grammar, but we didn't.
Yourself.
Yeah, I was like, you don't need grammar. Yes, you know. So
Uh,
they'll just fight through my strange Swahili and still get the mark. So for them, it would be most likely spoken. And as they go
mm,
along, I believe they'll get to reading, because if I believe if they still want inclusivity, they will still need to learn a bit of reading. But Swahili is the easiest. It's easier than English, because it's like English. You have words that sound one way and then end up being written another. You know, while Swahili,
okay.
it's, if I'm saying kana, it's written KNNA, done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now barbecue is three letters in speaking, but like a billion in writing. You're like, dude, man, what? What was this guy drinking when he
I
was?
know, right?
Sometimes you're like I do homeschooling, so I have to sometimes explain to them things in English, and I'm telling them the spelling is like this, but in actual fact, you just forget those E's and I's, and just then you're like, why didn't they just do that? So you're like, so why did they have to add that there? So
Exactly. What's the K behind knack? What is it doing? What's the
yeah,
K behind?
it's just lounging and having no purpose.
Hmm.
But that's and the beauty of Kiswahili, what you get is what you see.
Yeah.
Kana, kana, which means refuse.
Mm.
Knna, and you're done. And you're done. You write it that way, and you're done. It's not barbecue where I just told him, yo, just write BBQ in capital, bro. I can't even remember the last time I saw it written in full. I'm like, dude, man. So that is the beauty of Swahili, that it's elegant in its simplicity, is all I can say.
Mm.
So that,
Nice. Nice.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, really nice. Thank you so much. I mean, I really I love the fact that I mean you mentioned how I mean the idea is just to everyday interaction as they see you interact with the police, they hear you speak. So they know it has communal value for some like they can see
yes,
that. I mean, once you're interacting with people outside of your immediate environment, just like you said, I mean, if you really want more inclusion, you know, you're definitely going to learn more and all that. That makes a
yeah,
lot of sense. So I'm also curious right now because now there is a first generation bond that exists between yourself and the kids. That's because of that good blend of the English and the Swahili and all that. So how do they do? Oh, of course, well, you can go into details or not. All right. So I was going to ask, how did it do now when it now comes to cross generational? Maybe them and then maybe your parents or maybe your wife's parents or something like, or maybe, I mean, that, there's that generation
yeah.
that don't do hybrid, right? It exists in every language. They are not hybrid. You say good morning, they respond to you, in the local language and all that. They are not hybrid at all. So, I mean, how do you, for them now, I know it's easier for us.
Luckily, luckily for them, their grandparents were, as you see, they taught us only English. So even on my wife's side,
Oh,
English,
yeah,
so they
yeah.
also know English. But now, if they step up to my grandpa on my mom's side, also knew English, so he's fine.
Oh, wow.
But my grandma on my dad's side knew only our local language in the village. So that is where she struggled. And strangely
Mm,
enough, now she used to talk to me in the native, and then I dispense information because for some reason I could understand her throughout. We used to sit together outside the house. She's talking our local language, native language. I'm talking English, and we seemed to have a bond. Because I remember
wow.
once she came to visit us, and we were fine. And she was telling me about it's raining, and for some strange reason I could understand. But now for my kids, they wouldn't get that bond wasn't there in terms, which is sad
Mm,
because they miss out on a lot of stories and a lot of
mm,
information because you see you pass down a lot of information through speaking. So,
yeah,
so, so, so of course
yeah.
they missed out. There are some parts that you miss out on, but luckily with the other grandparent great grandparent who knows English, and the others who do know English, it's we do not have that. We do
Oh,
not
okay,
have that. We do not have the
okay.
break because they'll just switch instantly into. But also they were born towns. Okay, my dad was born village, but my mom was more born town. so, so but she knew the local languages and knows she knows Kikuyu, she knows Luya, she knows Luo, so she knows a host of because of where she used to stay. There are many of you find the Luos, the Luyas, the Kisis,
Okay.
and would be around, so you'd actually know, and the Kikuyus, you'd actually know you someone would not backbite you without you knowing because you understand
Oh,
all the languages. For them, they tended to be more multilingual, just so they could
okay.
survive in all situations.
Oh, I
So for
see.
my kids, they have the benefit that they could experience their grandparents without having
Mm,
those issues. Because a lot of people, especially in my parents' age bracket, did learn actually. They actually
mm.
sometimes even speak better English than we do. It's more
Oh,
refined, it's more
wow.
British English, it's more refined in Kenya. You'd find there's a section of parents whose grandparents who knows more English, the English is better than ours in delivery
Oh,
especially. So that
wow.
means you'd find the kids like us who only knew English would still survive because there was a great number of us and a great number of parents who knew across the board. That's why being born town had it was easier. was way easier.
Wow, that's a very rare. That's a very rare scenario you have there. But then again, like you said, I mean, it's an advantage at the end of the day. And I think, because I think I remember at some point one of the challenges that, of course, I always process that I feel that bridge always creates is, um, there seems to be children to connect with grandparents if you take away that language gap. There just seems to be
True.
no other way. Of course, because there are already existing gaps. Generational interest, very different. You have this screen generation here, and you have this generation here who believes in, I mean, let's just talk, let's just see ourselves and all of that. So, yeah, but again, that's very rare. Thank you so much for some of the insights that you've shared. So, I mean, if you're just joining us, this is Àṣà Wa, and we have Mervyn here with us, been sharing some very amazing insights on, stuff about language and his own experiences. I mean, in the chat section, you could please leave a word. Let's know where you're joining in from, and let's know what local language that you speak as well. So thank you so much, everyone. So yeah, so this will take me to some other questions that I had, in mind for us to walk through. Again, some of the things that you have shared already here are very insightful. Um, so let me just quickly, I mean, pull them up. So there's this saying that, let me just read it out so that, I mean, I don't mess it up. So, is it true that children resist heritage language? Now, so that's so ended. If that is true, why is that, basically? So, is it true that children resist heritage language? Now, you could speak from either your experience or maybe what you've seen with any of your, I mean, family, friends, or anything, basically.
Yes, you see, I'll speak from my experience because you'd find that um, there was a there's a idea that if you speak your heritage language, you are not
Mm-hmm.
as great as the person who speaks English. There's that visual, that you are better than them, and that's a visual that was sold. So you'd find a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people in my era would find it appealing to speak the English rather than speak the native language. And I think it's the same even for the kids because right now, if you tell them, okay, we're going to Kisii for a boot camp, 5 weeks, let's go. And you'd find there would be resistance because they're wondering, so where would this help me? Because those are the questions that we asked our parents. When they said,
Yeah.
do you want to learn Kisii? We're like, no, because where am I going to go with this? While we
Mm,
were foolish in that we didn't understand that it will bring a connection that we lost. But
come
you see,
on.
these are it's more of hindsight 2020 kind of business because
Mm,
when you're in it, you're like, yo, bro, I don't need this. But later, you're like, I missed out on a lot by the fact that I
mm,
didn't know. So I guess
mm,
for them, it's now just to figure out the balance. I'm not sure if they will learn their native language, but more and more you're finding that local Kenya, there are some places where you can actually learn it in a modern setting because now we have to live with them in their space. Because I can't go take them to the village and sit in front of my uncle and learn. No, the kid will be like, bro, nah, nah. That's what my kids will say. They just call you bro. Nah. You just know the guy's like, yo, this is not right. So, so you see, like now we'll be in a modern setting with the tablets and the everything and learning, and like that's what I've seen Tayari do. Bring
yeah.
language in the setting of the people they're targeting, because you
Yeah.
won't go, you won't, you can't bring you because there'll be too much change and too much things to learn and spaces to endure than if they just learn it from, like, say, like now they're GST MacBook, they're just there enjoying themselves, playing games and learning language, that
Mhm,
would that would benefit them. And that would
mhm,
be the way that they wouldn't resist. But yes, there will be resistance Because somebody's like, I have chess class, I have swimming, I have this. Then you want me to learn Kisi. They're like,
Mm.
this one doesn't look like it. They'll be like, I don't get this one. I do you think I have the time? Like my kids will be like, I'm busy. I'm busy. They're gonna tell you, I'm busy. If you thought I was not, I am. If it doesn't look like it, I am busy. So 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 even right now, if I were to do that, there would still be some backlash. And kids
Mm.
being kids and teenagers, like now mine are teenagers, in the
Oh.
most rebellious stage of their lives. Of course,
Mm.
they will live up to the teenagehood of like, no, it is not happening. And it happened with us the same. But I think hindsight 2020, we should have learnt a bit more. We should have,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's true. That's true. That's true. Okay. So I mean, well, we're wrapping up the conversation already now. So, what I want you to do now is, uh, I mean, it's great that you have experienced some of these things, and then I think you mentioned at the beginning of this about homeschooling or something, if
Yeah,
I'm not wrong.
yeah.
So yeah, so I'd like you to just share some five. I mean, if you have more, man, it would be great because I know maybe some of this would be shared, and I mean some parents could really draw a lot of value from it. So I just wanted to share like five or more practical tips. I mean that can help monolingual families right now, homes where it's just English, English and English. I mean, just five tips that you think can really bridge that gap for them.
I guess for me is basically just speak it. Deliver some messages in Swahili. Deliver them in your language that you know, because
Hmm.
that's the only way. When they see you, it's not bashing them with it. It's bringing them into it. Because like when I say things that, oh wait, nilete yo mkate, bring me that
Mm,
bread, and then I repeat it in English. So the next time I say it, nilete yo mkate,
you can
bring
map it.
that bread, they map it out with the things in the house. So because that's where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it starts. And sometimes you give them funny stories, like I like giving funny stories. So especially yeah, so sometimes you add a Swahili word in it, and they love it, and they experience it, and it becomes a fun relation. Because
Mm,
if we go bashing the language into them, of course they'd resist, like anybody would. But if you make it in a fun, loving, relational way,
mm,
they will tend to bring it up. Like now you see, like my son telling him we at Githurai, and he says it, we are at Githurai, not
mm,
why like yeah, you find that, you see, that came into learning how to, that this is how dad speaks, this is how mom speaks, and we
yeah.
can bring it in. And that's the joy. Just speak it, speak it, speak it, speak it. Of course it would mean trying to be intentional, because sometimes you realize you haven't spoken it in 2 days or three. But also
Yeah.
bringing them into your space. Like now, if I'm going out to the market, if I'm going this, if I'm going that, they realize that I'm talking to people in Swahili, having fun, laughing, and then they're like, what did you tell that guy? Why did he laugh so
Okay.
much?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think all five would be lumped up in just speaking it. Find a way to bring it into your everyday conversation, because there's no
Mm.
way language kept in your mouth will never be heard. So,
Oh, come on. That's good. Good. Clock
yeah,
that. That's good.
so that's the only way, I guess. That's the only way we have to bring it into their space. Yeah, and not bashing it, of course. Yes.
Okay. Are there any other ways? I mean, like maybe, games, whatever it is.
Yeah, you see, at the end of it all, you can have games, but you see, like, how many games are in my native language or yours? You know?
Okay. Although for
Y-
mine, in all honesty, we do. We have like tons actually
Oh,
in
you guys
Yoruba.
got next time. Then you're
Yeah.
showing us the games you You'll just stand there and tell us this is the game and this is what it is. Yeah, for us, you'll find Swahili games, yes, but native games, not so much unless you've interacted to that point. Because,
Okay.
yeah, for us, Swahili, yes. Like, Swahili would be easy to do, but the rest would be a bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are the online options because like for I know like if you want to learn Luo, you would have Luo in it. In Luo will be there because they're actually trainers and teachers that actually do that. So
Okay.
yes, so it's easier for some languages because they have either larger communities,
Mm.
larger pools of interest. So you'd find like Kikuyu's, like some languages, you'd find that it's very easy to get like Kikuyu, Luo, it will be very easy. But if you're one of the minority of the 42, it will have to come from you. It will have to
Uh,
be you, and you alone with the rest of the 10 natives that know that language. So,
mm.
the, the thing is to make them interaction, create those interaction points. Like let's say if your cousins are coming over, you're telling them today is a Swahili day, try and tell me things in Swahili and stuff like that. That can be done. That can be
Okay.
another way.
In all honesty, right? I know. I mean, you said something, and I think it is true because even for a family that I have lived with, they have a 2 year old, and I can see the parent always very deliberate, saying Lomua. So Lomua means like in Yoruba means go get me that, all right? Or be a guy, like bring your chair, So they are deliberate to say, I mean, things that um what's it called? More like action words. Yeah, I think that's the word. They are careful to
Yes.
speak the action words in the local language compared to any other thing. But then I was just thinking, uh, how um so just thinking from that direction of the okay, today's like Swahili Day and all that, like what degree of intentionalness do you think a parent would need to really apply to have that in the family? Of course, I don't want us to go direction of knowing that there's a lot to think about and all that, but I mean, what measure of intentionalness would you think a parent needs to apply first? Okay, you know what? Today is Yoruba. Day. Anybody who speaks Yoruba in the house, who doesn't speak Yoruba in the house today, you're going to wash the entire plate in your house. Something I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
now the
just being
problem is
hilarious. With that.
the only trick is that if we relate language to punishment, we are already down a slippery slope because now it will become you punish me, I'm not learning this, and teenagers, and me knowing teenagers, it will be like, oh, you want me to sit here? I will sit. You will play your Swahili song. I will look at you, but I will get nothing. So,
From it.
it's actually easier with the younger ones because if you tell them like you've said, bring letter kitty, which means
Mm,
bring the chair. You
mm-hmm,
see? So when
mm-hmm.
they're younger, it's easier, and in song also. Because I noticed like when they were younger and we used to sing bedtime songs, we used to
Mm.
have the Kiswahili
Oh,
ones where they used
nice.
to enjoy those ones. So
Oh,
song is also which has been used in all languages to pass down heritage through song. Because we
bedtime
tend
language, bedtime songs.
yeah, bedtime songs do hit the spot, I tell you. From when they were younger, bedtime was the best, was the funnest time. I think us we used to have more of a party at night than we used to do during the day. But
Oh,
yeah, I used to make a noise, and you know that when you say kids need to be quiet at night in our house, it's the opposite. That was when we were and for me, it's that just aside, but it's I love the fact that they went to bed with a smile. You know,
oh, come
it's been
on.
a
That's
party,
nice.
we partied
Yeah.
hard, and then you're like, okay, now find some sleep, bro. I don't know how you.
Great, so it's over.
Yeah, and they used to love that and used to sing, and so those are the things that you can bring it in song, your favorite songs that you like that are Swahili, because we tend to grab language more, because you'll find like you'd hear a Spanish song and be able to sing it ish a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So why not introduce songs that are still catchy and still make and bring them into your household,
Mm,
That
mm,
would be that for me, or read them a story, but it would mean translating as you go, like a fun story, like kaka. As we have the kakasungura, that means the bra. Kaka means boy, rabbit. Sungura is rabbit. So I think boy rabbit or rabbit boy. So you'd find they have good fun stories that would mean that you have to be imaginative and translate as you go,
Mm, mm,
but the language will still be good. Yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Really, like you said, I think that actually covers the five already. Okay, so I think this will be my final one, and then I mean I will share one of the amazing facts, because this is what I really like to do on the on the show, to let people know that some of the things that we're trying to do here, they are existing scientific facts that validates that this is a viable solution. The bridging the language gap and all of that. So the final question I wanted to ask you is um, about uh, okay, let me escape my mind. I mean, I just lost my thought the moment I was going to.
No problem.
Okay, okay. For some reason, I'm even finding that I don't think I documented it here. Actually, what was I going to ask again? Uh, okay, yes, yes. So I know that I mean, we said that tangentially at some point. The value of the value the language carries in the community. I've been thinking about. I just wanted to hear your thoughts about it. Right? What about with respect to things that are globally valuable? So this is what I mean. For an example, Uh, the school you went to, one of the reasons you had to learn English was because most of the courses or the subjects that you did, that you were going to sit exams for, were all taught in English. So I'm thinking, what do you think it would have looked like to have geography in Swahili? Not just to learn the language now, but to learn the subject, right? Geography in
Mhm.
Swahili, physics in Swahili, chemistry. So that's not in an attempt to learn the language, but to actually pass the value of that, subject down to the student. Because I'm of a school of thought that I think that that's also one of the things that has really contributed to the divergence away from you know local language, because what projects me as valuable in a global economy, right? The knowledge of economics, the knowledge of, I mean, all this, I don't want to say science courses, right? But you know what I'm talking about, basically.
Yeah.
So imagine if, so what's your thought if the world actually stepped in the direction where most of these courses or these subjects were actually taught in local language? What do you think?
Now that is it. Tanzanian people would have a good clue about that because I don't know how they do it, but physics in Swahili, oh my lordy lord. Yeah, it's already Greek in itself. Now you translate it into Swahili and then we figure it out. Let me give you an example. You see, because now we
Okay.
are in Kenya, sometimes Google will switch my language on to Kiswahili. Have you ever looked at
Twice.
Google with disgust? You're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And for me, I would find it very difficult because you see, if you want to, if we are, because we think global, we're not just thinking um, uh, physics just for Kenya alone.
Mhm.
But you'll find like Chinese will learn it in Chinese.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
exactly. That's actually even my
The
question.
Germans will teach it in German.
Yeah, the French is teaching French.
Yeah, so I think it's just that either it would mean a total change, a total mind shift, especially for those of us who won't know anything in Swahili relating to physics. We will be on the outside because the guys will be chatting and they're like, "What? What is that? That's an atom. What? No way. No way." And that's the challenge because how would
Mm,
that look is a good question because it would be different. It would mean
Yeah.
that it would mean that I don't know if it would mean that for us in Kenya it would be weird. It would mean it would have to be Swahili. It can't be in the 42 tribes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
Trying
I get
to find the name for an atom in Kisii would be fun. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Because they tend to have a weird way of defining things that are not usual.
the language
It would,
itself.
yeah, the language will just be like, what? You'd hear like, what? It'd be like, oh, they say, like in my native language, things that were from outside are named in another strange way that is just so
Uh,
funny. So now
uh,
imagine an atom. So you'd find it, yes, maybe the Tzedians had it in mind
mm,
to because they teach Swahili all the way until primary, end of primary, then start learning English in secondary, if I'm not wrong. So
mm,
they had it in them, but they didn't go. It doesn't go into high school.
I
I
see.
find it's such a mind blowing idea if we were to learn everything in Swahili
Mm,
and be like that. And the rest of the countries they seem to be doing fine.
mm,
It's true. The French are doing
mm.
fine. The
Yeah,
Germans are doing fine.
particularly
Actually,
the Chinese.
we are learning German to go to because we want to go and learn in Germany. So you see
Oh,
that
oh,
you see that that's what we're doing as Kenyans. If you want to go to Germany, what are you going to do? You have to go and
that's
learn
nice.
German.
Hmm.
And you're going to learn whatever you're going to learn in German.
Mm,
And you still learn it and it's still a viable career after that. It's not
mm,
that your local language diluted it to the point you can't build a bridge. No. So yes, we it seems like it should be something that we look to as an alternative, because that
mm.
means there's some very good engineers who couldn't be any engineers because they didn't know English.
Come on, exactly. That's a gap you just pointed out there. Mm,
There's some very good people who could be so much more just
yeah,
because if we made it their version. Because if you
yeah,
want to learn
right.
Swahili, if you want to learn physics in Swahili, you do it. If you want to
Mm,
learn English, let there be that option. But all
mm,
in all, we still teach the same things and same values, but bring more people into there. I think it's inclusion.
yes,
Again, it
sir.
reaches down to inclusion. The
Mm,
fact that you can learn it in Swahili, learn to be a doctor who knows it in Swahili, that means you will even translate to your Swahili, the patients who only know Swahili better because
mm,
you understood the body through Swahili.
mm, mm.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would include everybody.
Mm. I mean, I wasn't even thinking in the line of what you just said about. I mean, it would have that means the man who decided to just stick to farming right now because he felt education meant English could have
Yeah,
probably explored his career, even maybe as a content creator, or even maybe an engineer or a doctor or something. I mean,
yeah,
that's a huge
could
one.
be a
It actually
pilot.
it just strengthens a pilot exactly. Imagine having the pilot manual, in Swahili, full blown, and
Yeah,
all information rather, very correct and all that. But again, it all boils down to global value, and I'm hoping that someday, because there's this thought in my head that this planet, there was a time that not everybody was speaking English.
true.
There was a time. So I mean,
And still a
if that
large number
evolution
of
could
people
happen to the point
don't.
where right now it seems like everybody's speaking English, I don't think it's impossible, right? Of course, like you rightly said, it's going to be a lot of hard work, like mental shift and all that. But then,
And I don't think everyone does speak English because, like, when I went to America a time back,
Mhm.
the Spanish were speaking Spanish.
While in
They
America, there.
Yeah, that's how they converse. But when they talk to someone else, English will be the case. But there are things that they will relate in their own language still.
Mm,
So I guess
mm.
it's for us. Maybe Africans wanted to climb the ladder really quick and remove all the blockers, as we call them. Just straight into it. You know that one that there's no mother tongue interference, as we say here in Kenya.
Uh,
Mother tongue will not interfere with your growth. Mm.
oh,
But yeah, if you said something about global value, I think it needs to be regional value. That we value our
mm,
region that much that we say, okay, we're going to give an opportunity to learn piloting in Swahili.
mm.
Simple. That means we'll teach math in Swahili. That means
Yeah.
chemistry. That
Yes.
means that
Trickles
means
down to
our
every
whole
other. Yeah.
every other subject. That this is a Swahili school. So if you want to learn, if you Swahili is your main staple, go ahead.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, it would be really nice. I mean, I'm hoping that what I just started as a regular conversation here can actually flesh into something real at some point. Again, no bias to any language. All right, I think every language is beautiful, right? Except for how it all started at the Tower of Babel. But again, I mean, I meant that hilariously, so nobody should come after me for saying that. So, all right, so thank you so much, Maven. I mean, it's been a great time chatting with you. So, before I let you go, I have some amazing facts here that I would just like to, um, get your opinion on. Just give us a bit, just help us to gain perspective um, on them, right? So, let me see a quick. Um, Okay, so let's take this one. It says losing a heritage language doesn't just erase words; it damages family bonds. The heaviest toll is the relationship between a child and their grandparents, creating a tragic wall of silence. I know we spoke about this really
Yeah.
at some point, but then again, I think repetition strengthens memory. So let's have your line of thought on this.
Yes, if you have grandparents, of course, who don't know English, who don't know Swahili, like I'll just stick with what is local. Yes, of course, that language, there are gaps that cannot be replaced. There are bonds that cannot be built because, as we say, there are stories that will never be told to you. There are stories that
Mm,
will go with them to the grave, and there are opportunities you would have missed to just bond, which is what
mm,
family is about. And yes, the kids will miss out on those opportunities. Us as parents will miss out on those opportunities to so yes, it is something that will be damaged because you will regret that call. When you see that call, I'm going to be forced to try to speak the other language, or they're
mm,
going to speak their language as I speak mine, and we just tend to be talking of each other, and it becomes a conversation that you want to end quickly. So
mm.
so that's what, yeah, it's when we lose our heritage, we lose our connection. It's just like how you lose your internet connection and you are stomping through the house like a madman. Same same cheese here. It's just that we don't stomp out and are enraged. We are silent in the loss of a connection.
Hmm. All right. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Maven. That made a lot of sense. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. It's been a great time. I mean, having this chat with Maven Omari. Thank you so much for spending your time. And if you're joining us for the first time, this is Àṣà Wa, and like I told you, I promised that I'm going to be bringing some guests who will be helping us gain perspective on, the importance of actually connecting with our local languages, and of course, giving us real life examples that really makes this thing makes a lot of sense to us. So, I think we're already on the 1 hour mark already, and for me and my guest today, I'm going to say thank you so much. So, as on the final note, I want you to check out Tayari.live website. We do, right, we bridge that gap, that language gap for particularly children in diaspora, parents and children in diaspora. You could check out gamified experiences. One of these days, I'm going to actually be demoing, the website for you here, so you can have a good, grasp as to how the entire thing works and all of that. But I think you can also give it a check. Follow us on Instagram. It's also Tayari.live. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We have a page on Facebook. Follow us just to keep in touch with some of our content in this direction. So thank you so much, everyone. It's been an awesome time with my guest today. Our next session will be on Friday. by this same time. Please make sure you join. Click the subscribe button so that you can get notified the moment that we are live. Thank you so much again. I'll see you on Friday. Take care.